I used to go out a lot after my breakup, and something peculiar used to happen now and then. I'd start interacting with a girl, we're having a great conversation, we're connecting, and out of the blue, she would ask me, "Are you gay?" And I'd be like, "Of course I'm not." And she'd be like, "Okay," and then just carry on the conversation. The conversation didn't really end up going anywhere. I didn't really get her number or escalate it to a date or anything like that. And I asked my friend, I was like, "Hey, she just asked me if I'm gay." And I said, "Why is that?" And he just shrugged his shoulders. And then one time we were out again, and another woman asked me, "Are you gay?" And I said, "Of course I'm not." I'd have the same kind of response. Then I'd ask her why. And she kind of like, "Nah, just asking." And wouldn't really give me a direct answer. So I remember after going out, I'm sitting with my friend, we're having some food afterwards. And I asked him, I said, "Why are these women asking me if I'm gay?" And he said, "Well, I didn't really want to tell you, but Faisal, you have a bit of feminine mannerisms." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, Sometimes you come across quite soft and gentle and more feminine." So it was only when I started to say, uh, look at myself in the mirror, record myself in videos, I noticed that I did have quite a strong, sometimes feminine mannerisms. And that is why it equated to women asking me if I was gay. Now, that really upset me. That really did make me feel like less of a man. It wasn't kind of like the macho guy I really wanted to come across, the strong, the masculine man. The guys like your Jacko, your UFC fighters, David Goggins, even like Tony Robbins. I didn't have that same kind of demeanor. Mine was more softer, gentle. And for some women, that will turn them off. For some women, they would want that macho guy. But it doesn't mean that it rules you out from dating and attraction. Now, what happens is that if you don't work on this, you are going to get a lot more rejections and you're going to get far more friend zone. Because of your softer demeanor, more of your feminine demeanor, you'll come across as more of the feminine, gay kind of friend than you would come across as a potential lover. Now, there are many clients I work with have that demeanor, the feminine demeanor, because I grew up around a lot of women. I kind of like picked up their more kind of like template. Now, not every guy does, but most guys who are raised by feminine, their feminine sisters and cousins, they will start to pick up more feminine kind of like vibes. And this is what women will pick up, and this is what women will reject or put you in the friend zone. So you need to cultivate more of your masculine side. Now, when I started to do more of the masculine work, I then started to notice that women were responding more to me in more of a sexual way rather than the friend zone way. And you don't have to completely change the way you are. You're not going to become macho. I'm no way the macho kind of like UFC fighter kind of guy. I'm more of the sensitive, gentle kind of man. And if you read the book by The Art of Seduction by Robert Greene, you will notice that there's different archetypes of seducers. There are some very masculine, some very macho kind of guys. They will appeal to certain type of women, usually more women they'll appeal to. But there are some guys who are more sophisticated, more gentle, more soft. They'll appeal to a different audience. So every man has an audience. All we have to do is make sure that we improve our skills, improve the audience a little bit as well, but really improve the skills of women that are kind of like appealing to you, that you're able to get to the date, get to the attraction, create the attraction, and even create a relationship. So there are things that are within your control. Now, what are things within your control? The way you use your body language, the way you use your voice, the way you style up. So all those things can make a difference. Masculinity isn't about being macho. Masculinity is about decisiveness, direction, certainty. There's all confidence. There's all these things that you can work on. These are things that I worked on. As soon as I started working on these, then when I used to go out, I never had a woman say to me, "Are you gay?" Because I signaled more masculine traits, not macho traits, but more masculine traits. And when you signal more masculine traits, it makes her feel more feminine. So she goes into a feminine. Before I was coming across more feminine, that would put her more in her masculine state. So she would probably want to be more friends with me than she would want to be my lover. So there are things that I work, especially when I'm teaching in my masculine charisma blueprint, is to start to elevate more of your masculine traits. So consistency, habits, they all add to your masculine traits. And then you add charisma, which is more style, material, more sophistication, the way you speak, what you speak about, the way you use your tone, certainty, all of these things add up. You don't have to do this perfectly. I haven't got rid of all my feminine traits. When I look back at some of my videos, I can see, that was a bit feminine. My mannerism was feminine. You can just turn the sound off, and then you can see that there was some aspects of it, and that's okay. You don't need to be 100% one or the other. It's like a lot of nice guys, a lot of men have black and white thinking. It's one way or the other way. The integrated man is when you bring all of them together. So you have your light and your dark. You'll have your masculine traits and your feminine traits, both brought into one. And that's what you call being a whole man, a real man, a full man, is that you can have both of them. The only thing that you're going to do is you're going to bring down some of your feminine traits and then raise your masculine traits. So if you have quite a lot of a strong feminine demeanor, it's a positive, it's a plus. How? Because you can be more sensitive in conversations, you can be more empathetic, you can be gentle, you can access that point as well as strengthening and accessing your masculine side as well. So you can bring a much better wholeness to it. Macho guys are appealing at first, but then she'll say, well, he's not very sensitive, understanding, emotional, empathetic. So he's a bit of a jerk. Yes, he'll have the attraction at the initial stages. It doesn't mean you can't do when you develop your masculine energy, but he can't go as further, really deeply and emotionally connect, is where you require the feminine side of you to bond and connect. And it's very important, not just in your relationships, but all your friendships, your connection, and especially as parenting, because that feminine side is a nurturing side. It's more caring side. It's a soft side. And imagine having the masculine energy around that provides that strength, confidence, and protectiveness. So that brings you into a real integrated, charismatic, integrated man. If you're stuck on this, you need some help and support, look, why don't you just book a call with me and I'll show you some of the things I do in the Masculine Charisma Blueprint. If you need some support, I've got a lot of guys. We have about 30, 40 guys in my group, in my training, and then we all connect, we all meet, and we all work on the things that we can work on and really start improving the way we show up in the world, much more charismatic, changing our aura, which is far more alluring, seductive, and also satisfying within. All right, stay blessed, stay charismatic.